Press Start Podcast.
And welcome back to the Press Start Podcast. I'm your host, Vic, aka Mr. Never Chill, and this is episode number 123. And this week I do welcome back my co-host, Roger, Scott, aka Scopy1. Get them mixed up. I'm not used to that.
What is? It's all the glasses. It's all the glasses. We all look so much alike.
Yeah, exactly. And we do got Roger, aka Lunatic Oblivion. Welcome back, my friend.
My man stealing my chic over here, the glasses, and he's like, "Now I'm cool."
Yeah, I'm cool. Gotta be like the cool
He
kids,
figured out
man.
what it means to be cool.
Yeah, look, glasses gang. Nah, but welcome back, guys. Obviously, we've been away for a few weeks because last week was the Super Bowl, so no episode. And Scott, you missed out 2 weeks ago before that because of your bachelor weekend. So how did that go, real quick, man? I'd love to.
Oh, that was without a doubt the best Saturday that I've had. And Sunday belonged to just some recovery.
Yeah.
And yeah, but it was an absolute blast. My best man Topher, I'm not sure if he's in here, but he fucking hit it out of the park. He really did. It was, and then everybody there. I mean, it was just an absolute blast.
Yeah.
An absolute blast. We almost died in the escape room, because I found out that no matter, I mean, even though we're all very good friends, we should never get stuck in an escape room together because we would probably somehow fail.
Yeah, that's great. It's funny you mentioned an escape room. I think I was on Twitter the other day scrolling, and someone in an escape room, they like offered up their friend as like sacrifice, and then like the game, like the person who runs the game, like came on a speakerphone, like, guys, you don't have to sacrifice your friend. Like they were like strapped him down to like a table and stuff like that. Was like, yo, like they really thought that shit was real. Like
you don't have to sacrifice your friend, but I understand. I appreciate the total immersion and the effort.
Yeah, they tried it for sure. But over to you, Roger, man. I know you've been dealing with a crazy ass week in work, man. How's that been going for you? Is it going to get better anytime soon?
Oh man, dude, the one night we had a 20-hour shift. Like I finished my 8 hours, and they were like, "So yeah, we need you to stay because this shit's broken, and like the court system can't go forward without it." And I was like, "That's shit."
Sounds like the court system's problem. Oh wait.
I guess I'm in trouble. Yeah, so somebody broke something. I spent 20 hours working on it, and I've been dealing with that all week, this week as well. Like just the remnants of just garbage.
Damn.
It's been a bad month for IT professionals just in general.
Feels like it, dude.
We've I know at my job we've been getting absolutely just bent over forever since like the day after Christmas. It was just awful. Ridiculous. So I feel you on that.
Yeah, and they decided we're gonna move one of the guys off our help desk over to the security team to promote him, but we weren't gonna fill the position ahead of time, so we're gonna take our time and not really fill the position for like, I don't know, a few weeks.
Nice.
Yeah.
Don't you love that?
Yeah, and they're like, we're in the middle of 2 or 3 projects, so I'm gonna need all you guys to come inside, but you have to volunteer to come in, or I'm going to voluntold you to come in. And I'm like,
well,
fuck.
It's one of those. It's one of those. I can't physically force you, but if you plan on still being employed here, I suggest you sit your ass right the fuck back down and you keep working. I'm tired of patching. I'm tired of patching this, Grandpa. That's too bad. That's too damn bad. You keep on patching.
Oh man, that's great. But all right, guys, enough of our personal life. I mean, we can stick into the personal life because we're about to talk about what we've been playing over the past 2 weeks, or in this case, God, for you, 3 weeks. And you still only had 3 games on your list. Like, what in the hell? But
it's better than it used to be.
Better than 2 games. You got 3.
I focused real hard on one of those games.
Wait. Here we go. Let's fix his list. He's got 4 games.
Uh-oh.
Technically, actually, hold on.
Oh,
okay.
shit.
Yeah, that's right. We got that Pokemon Go.
You guys can't see his list, but he added a couple of them. He's changed Call of Duty from multiplayer and added Warzone, so you know that's 2 separate games. And of course, you got to get the proper pooper with Pokemon Go, even though that's a mobile.
I mean, if you're pooping on the go, that's a weird one.
He might be wearing Depends. You never know these days.
Hey, whatever you got to do, it's commitment. It is commitment to the game. I'm going to.
I still remember the poop bucket skit from freaking YouTube back in 2010. Do you shit in a bucket? No, sir. You have a shit bucket.
Oh,
Shit bucket?
So
Fucking Battlefield.
let let's actually talk about some games though. Honestly, here, I'll kick it off with my list because surprisingly enough, I had the longest list, and it's only because like I was just like trying out a whole bunch of games this week. But I do want to talk about the game that I've really been playing a lot lately, and it's Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. And as you guys can see on my list, it says paused, and it's because like I told Roger, I think I told you the last episode, I was like, man, this is a great game. I'm loving it. Like, oh man, this is such a great game. And it's getting to the point where it's like it's overstaying its welcome. Like by far. Like the story seems like it has already ended. It should have already ended, but it's like not already ended. Like I'm about to fight the same dude for the third time. Like I don't want to fight the dude no more. He should have been dead.
How often do you play Metroidvanias though? Like a real question. Like when's the last time you truly played an authentic Metroidvania?
The last one probably would have been Ori and the Will of the Wisp, because I know that's considered one.
And that's a pretty good one. Yeah, that's a really good example. But like if you think about a true Metroidvania, a lot of times bosses will just keep reappearing, especially in Metroid. Like Metroid is the king of reappearing bosses. You have the shadow suit, I forget what it's called now, and you know, maybe our viewers will yell at me afterwards for it, but the dark suit that follows you around many times through Metroidvanias, where you're fighting it 3, 4, 5 times till you finally beat it. You know, the boss in one of the more recent, the last 3DS Metroid game, you fight that boss 4 or 5 times and you're like, can you just stay dead? And the boss is like, I'll be right back, and then just leaves, and you're like,
exactly,
no,
like,
die.
Bro, we just fought for like 5 hours, and then you just like, you know, I'll see you later, bro. And then
we
fight again, I'm like, nah.
You thought you had me.
Right,
yeah, I'll catch you on the other side of this level. Just go ahead and.
But it's like
the
story
goes to
over there. The story keeps going to a peak, and it's like, all right, climax, game over. Psych, here's some more stuff, and it's like, bro, like at this point, I don't even care. Like I literally pause it because I don't want to beat it no more.
You're just uncomfortable.
Yeah, like I don't want to play no more.
Excited too, dude.
Right.
You were so passionate about it last week.
Right.
And then this week
this game went from like an 8. This game went from like an 8 or 9, and it's already down to like at least a 6.
This game sucks dicks and cocks. I hate it.
Because what it's doing is just like it's just dragging out over and over. I'm like, oh, I'm at the final boss, and it's like, no, you're not. Oh, I'm at the next final boss, and no, you're not. And I'm like, yeah, I'm done with this game.
Final asterisk.
So, honestly, that's what it feels like playing Yakuza at times. But like every time I'm like, man, this fucking story is going on too long. They're like, new character time, and you're like, all right, here we go again.
Oh, right, but I bet like in that it's like it gives it meaning. Like you feel intrigued to figure it out. Where like there isn't nothing being added to the story. They're just like taking the same story and they're like, how far can I stretch this out? And it's like this could have been over like 6 hours ago.
Who made this game?
Ubisoft.
Yeah,
you know.
Man, I felt like I called this weeks ago. You're like, this game's great, and I'm like, but it is a Ubisoft game.
It probably would be great for someone who isn't trying to beat as many games as possible and get through games like I am. But it's like when a game takes like I knew this game was going to take up to 17 hours, but like if I get to like that time frame and it's like, you know, we got a lot more stuff to do, and like I haven't really been doing any of the side stuff. Like if it's not a necessity, I'm not doing it, so I keep moving on, and it's just like, okay, done with this game. But enough of this game. Don't want to talk about it no more. It had too much time on the show. Roger, let's talk about a game that you dropped. We Happy Few, which I know is a really popular, really great game, and I know they have a new one in the works. But why'd you drop this one?
Because the game is busted and it's a piece of shit.
Game Pass again? Broken on Game Pass?
Yeah, but it's also a Steam issue, it turns out. So when they developed this game, they had save file breaking bugs that they just decided never to fix. Or they released an older version to Game Pass that still had those bugs. Because I went into Game Pass and I was like, all right, you try to go start the next mission. You walk up to the building and it's supposed to trigger like loading or into a cutscene or something. And as soon as it does, game closes and I'm just on my desktop and I'm like,
Yeah, that's definitely no fun there. And this is from Compulsion Games, which is really good. And it's an Xbox developer now since they bought them out. But their next game, South of Midnight, that was the game that they recently revealed, and hopefully that one turns out to be really well and much
Hopefully.
better than We Happy
But
Few.
it honestly felt like such a fun game to start. There are a lot of mechanics that suck a lot. Like it felt really junky, clunky, and just really overstayed its welcome. Like it felt like a worse BioShock most of the time.
Hmm.
But
That's
there were
exciting.
moments where it felt really good to play it. Like it genuinely felt like a good game. Like the fact that like it didn't take itself seriously. Like one of the things is you load up into the game and your perk tree for your first character, literally as you're going down the perk tree, that each character has a unique little tree on the left-hand side, and the first character you get is just one of his perks is British, eternally repressed. That's your perk. I was
No,
like, it
jeez.
doesn't take itself seriously. It's fun. It felt good. And like I was intrigued to see where the story was going because like it's an alternate reality where, you know, Germany actually takes over the United Kingdom after World War II and then pacifies them with like mind-altering drugs like the MK Ultra program. And it honestly felt really fascinating to see. But then I hit the point where the game crashed and I looked online and people said, yeah, you just have to restart. And I was like, not 5 hours
Yeah.
in, do I want to restart?
Right, fuck that.
That's that's 10 gallons of dough in a 5-gallon hat.
Right.
Fuck that.
And this is actually a perfect segue, and then we'll talk about one of your games, Scott. It's interesting enough, Roger. Remember Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War? This was a Call of Duty game that you bought because we wanted to play zombies, and you actually played the story mode, and I wanted to
liked
play
the
the story. And I think is remember when I tried to play the story, the game kept crashing at the same part in the campaign over and over and over, no matter what I did.
Now that you say it, yeah, I think I remember you mentioning that.
Well, I finally decided to give it a go because, like, I love the Black Ops campaigns, and I wanted to give this one a go. And especially coming off Modern Warfare 3, which was god awful, I was finally able to play this whole way through, and I beat it. And dude, that was a really good game, and I love how it really ties into all of the other Black Ops games, but it also ties into the Modern Warfare universe. Like I know that this game, because they're starting to blend the games finally, and I finally got to experience it. I knew it was blended, but I was like, I want to see how they do it. And with Imrov Zakhaev, like seeing how he was part of the KBG or whatever.
KBG.
Yeah. KGB, one of them. And I was like, man, it's pretty cool because obviously he's in Modern Warfare. Well, technically his son is, but in the original COD 4, you actually get to kill him at the end of it as Captain Price and stuff like that. Even though COD 4 isn't part of this technical universe, but it's pretty cool to see all the characters and how they're used and how they're integrated and whatnot. But the cutscenes, beautiful. Voice acting, beautiful. Gunplay, beautiful. Like this game was a lot of fun. It's what a
Call of Duty game should have been.
Right.
For a AAA $70 game, well, 60 at the time. You know, Call of Duty, this is what it should have been. And to me, I was like, man, this felt good. Like, it honestly felt like a good campaign. Yeah, I thought the endings were a little goofy because none of the choices or anything you matter until the very last second of the game. And they're like, make a choice. And you're like, cool, kill everyone.
Damn straight.
And what's crazy though about this, you know how I complained about Modern Warfare 3? I was like, man, it's so short. This is a big problem with that. I beat this game faster than I did Modern Warfare 3. So I was like, this is still a problem for a game that is $70 that wants to be this big blockbuster hit.
It didn't feel bad though. Like I beat it quickly, but it was because, you know, the campaign is a joke half the time with the enemies. You can run and gun a lot of the time.
Yeah, a lot of issues too with I noticed like the AI in Call of Duty campaigns have been the same like since the very beginning. Like I shoot a guy like with a bow and arrow way over here on the side of the map, and I hit his shoulder and he gets alerted. He doesn't even shoot. He just like turns, looks at me, and I kill him. But somehow the rest of the fucking army on the other side of the 5 miles down the road knew about it. And I'm like, and then they know exactly where you are. And I'm hiding in a bush. Like they knew exactly where I was. And I'm like, this doesn't make sense.
It just doesn't feel right. And then there are moments in the campaign, like was this the one where they redid the crawling through the grass you know, with all the tanks and army dudes running around you?
No, not this one. This one was the one at like towards the end when they were injecting you that thing in the eye and you were reliving memories over and over, and Adler was like walking through the missions.
You were a sleeper soldier is the idea.
Yeah.
Like spoiler alert. Sorry, it's a little late here. But
At this point, if this is spoiled, it's your fault.
Yeah.
It's a four-year-old game. You'll be
the fact that you're a sleeper agent, I thought it was really fascinating. I thought it worked really well for the Cold War era. You know, it's that MK Ultra or the Russian sleeper agent in the US kind of thing. I thought it was really well, blended into pop culture, and the campaign felt good.
Yeah. The only issue though is that like I watched the video and they actually compared it, the Black Ops 1 with Black Ops Cold War, that it's the exact same story just told in reverse. And it's like really interesting because in Black Ops 1 you are also a sleeper agent, but like you're a sleeper agent for Russia, but in this one you're a sleeper agent for the United States, and like every mission that happens literally is the exact same mission, just goes in reverse.
The separate side.
Yeah, and it was like, okay, like they got lazy.
Yeah,
on
but
that
it's a little lazy, but at the same time, it's also a pretty cool concept because you do get to see how the other half of like the first one played out. Like
basically, you see that like both America and Russia are doing the exact same thing, and it's from like one of those like say Star Wars, from a certain point of view kind of instance. Like we're the good guys from our certain point of view, but like you're the bad guys, and the other people were like, no, we're the good guys, you're the bad guys. You know what I mean? So like that it's pretty cool that you get to see that kind of concept. Nonetheless, let's talk about, Scott, your game here with Baldur's Gate 3. You're still trying to get through the honor campaign. Did you get your your gold D20 yet?
no.
No. How'd you lose this most recent run?
After hours and days and what felt like years of dealing with bugs, dealing with permanently hostile people that were required for my storyline, who I couldn't interact with. After all of the bugs, I downloaded the script extender. I pulled up the script extender. I was teleporting my people back to camp, like doing this, trying to get all this good stuff. And finally, after 114 hours and 47 minutes of my goddamn life, I got my shit absolutely pushed in by Orin. I was already level 12. Like, the builds were done. My builds were done. I was like, okay, I have two more fights. I beat the brakes off Gortash. That boy didn't even stand a chance. I beat the absolute bullshit out of Saravak in one turn. In one turn, I just burnt his ass so bad. And these are final boss baddies. Whoop them asses. And I got into the Orin fight. And I just got humiliated. I got beaten and I got kicked. And I got stabbed and I got the salt poured in my wounds because that fight, the legendary actions that she gets, and the buff that she gets from Ball is just ridiculous. And I know that there's ways to cheese it, but we don't cheese in this family. We're not gonna cheese in this family. And that whole fight at the end, it's you are just trapped in an RNG. It doesn't matter what you've done. It doesn't matter how much you've prepped for the fight. I prepped, man. I had all my buffs. I had all my summons. I had all of this stuff, and you just get sucked into a meat grinder, and it's an RNG, and that's all it is. And I couldn't even run. And it was awful, and I just sat there and I stared at the screen for about 20 minutes. I did because I was so ready. All I had to do was beat Orin and then do the final fight, and I would have beaten this game. Just pushing through it, and
so you got it next time. It sounds like that. You got this
there's not gonna be a next time for a while. There's not gonna be a next time for a really long time. That was like through everything that I had been through in just that playthrough, and even some of my friends who have played it, whether they cheesed it or not, who've beaten the game, all that. Even some of them, like, it went from laughing like, oh, I can't believe that happened, to like, dude, I have never seen anybody go through so much bullshit in a game than you,
and then still lose.
And like my one buddy was there while I was straight up like stuck in combat, trying to teleport all my people out and try to get something. Doesn't break achievements though, but don't cheese it. It was a very tempting and very dangerous road that I could have gone down with that script extender. with the things you can do with it. And I immediately uninstalled it afterwards. But man, that was tempting. But after all that bullshit, to just get my shit pushed in like that. I mean, I did everything except blow up Gale to try to survive that damn fight. I used my divine intervention to res everybody and give everybody like their long rest heals. It was awful. Or she gets 12 unstoppable a turn. So you have to burn down that 12 unstoppable before you can even do any damage. After that, she's squishy, but it everybody around her has sanctuary. You get like Edict of Ball, which means like if your character gets that, if you don't kill somebody at the end of that character's turn, that character automatically dies. It was yes. It was like cranked. Yeah, yeah, dude, yeah. It's exactly what it was.
30 seconds.
Yeah,
and you died.
if you didn't get a kill, you died. That was exactly what it was, and I'm just happy that it wasn't something stupid. That's really it. I mean, and it's gonna be a bit before I play this because I've done everything in that game.
Yeah.
Up until that point, I've done everything. Act 1. I mean, I've searched and I've went to every square inch of every map, whether it be for Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. I have done it all, because I wanted this to be such a complete victory. And man, it hurt. I didn't turn my computer on for like 2 days after that. I didn't. I straight up just didn't even want to be up here in this seat playing.
Yeah, now you're probably having PTSD right now on the show.
It's been a really long time since I felt like something was actually ripped from me. It's been a really, really long time, and that did it. It was heartbreaking, and I just can't go back for a while. But that's gonna free up some time for other games. I want to get back into Palworld. Yeah. I've been seeing like how much fun people are having with that. Helldivers 2 has been looking and sounding amazing. I got some people that want me to hop on that, so it's gonna open up some doors for some other games for a little bit until
free time.
Yeah, and until I'm ready to be heard again, and then once that happens, once I open myself back up,
maybe I do have a game for you that you could fill your spare time with. It's a game I picked up. I played for like maybe 30 minutes to an hour. A game called Hawked. The announcement came via the Xbox Wire. I didn't even know this was even coming out. This wasn't a thing. I'm dropping the article into the chat now for anybody's who's interested. I'm gonna get a trailer up here on screen in a second, but it's considered like an Roger, me and you were talking about. It's a extraction shooter. It's actually pretty cool. It's a pretty cool concept. Like the idea is like it's like 3v3, and you're on this big ass map. You gotta go around. You can collect guns, kind of like Battle Royale, but there's also PvPvE because there's NPCs on here, and you have to collect these like glyphs, like hieroglyphs, to unlock the vault while you're doing it. And then once you get the artifact from the vault, then you have to extract. So it's a pretty fun like gameplay loop, and like the artifacts that you actually collect at the end are actually equipment that you can equip in the lobby in between matches then as well.
Oh, okay. So when you extract with the gear, if it's new, you can use that. Okay, yeah, cool.
It's like an equipment, like it could be better than that. And it gives you like different abilities and stuff, and there's different puzzles that you have to solve. Those like fires that looking thing, like those are right there's a treasure vault where you're trying to unlock all the different artifacts. And it's a really fun gameplay loop. I play like with randoms, so I'm curious to see how it would play like with a group of friends. Like even if us three gave it a go, it's free to play as well. I gotta double check on the crossplay. That would be the only issue, obviously, because I play on Xbox. But if it's on PC, then we can just all play on PC as well.
Yeah, it's looking fun. It looks fun.
Yeah, the gunplay feels really great. It's really fun and whatnot. You got different abilities as well that you have like different perks and whatnot.
I liked it better when it was Apex Legends, but still, like it still looks really fun.
Yeah. But yeah, overall great experience there, and it's basically on all platforms as well. So definitely highly recommend that one as well. That's on my Xbox right now. Playing that. A couple other ones that I did play through the week just to rattle them off. Fortnite Rocket Racing. I actually got to play that with my fiance Lauren. That was a lot of fun. along with the Fortnite Festival, which is that Guitar Hero experience just on Fortnite with the controller. Hopped into some Forza Horizon 5, of course, and interesting enough, I downloaded Star Wars Battlefront 2, like the OG from the original Xbox days. And I was like, man, I miss playing this Galactic Conquest. Roger, remember
That
when
was
we used to play the
such a
shit
good
out of
game.
Galactic Conquest.
that?
That
Yep.
was the best, man. That whole game. I saw that on your list, and I was just like, hell yeah! Like
He's
that's
living
just it.
life.
Like people will see this game and go, hell yeah, hell, give me a hell yeah in chat because fuck, that game was so good.
Right. But other than that, Roger, I do want to talk about the other new game that you picked up on your list here is Deep Galactic Survivor, because I did drop this into both the Lunacy Arts and the Press Start channel. It's basically Vampire Survivors, but set in the Deep Galactic. How's this experience? Because this is a game I do want to check out. Is it worth playing?
If you like Deep Rock Galactic, I think it's definitely a good game to play. If you've never played Deep Rock, you're gonna lose some of the sort of thing to draw you in. I'm not saying it's a bad game, like it's definitely not by any means. I just think that some of the loop itself isn't anywhere near as good as like the gameplay loop itself is just not as good as say playing Vampire Survivors or what is it? Halls of Torment. I think I prefer both of those more than I prefer this because the bosses are all the same at the end of every zone. It's always the same boss who does the same thing. There's only 3 bosses to fight in the game. Like everything is the same every time you play. All that plays differently is the environmental hazards.
Yeah.
So it
Right,
has a lot to
if
be
I'm not mistaken,
desired.
there's only like 3 levels or like 3 worlds that are playable right
3
now.
worlds.
Yeah.
And like all the enemies are the same. The only difference between each world is the fact that one has vines, one has lava, and one doesn't have anything.
Right, and which is really interesting because if I'm not mistaken, the regular Deep Rock Galactic is all procedurally generated. So like every time you play, it's like a different world or different environment. Where like this is
Yeah,
like almost the
but
same every single time you play.
yeah, and like you can find different zones in different parts of the irregular Deep Rock, but this one there's just a lot to be desired and missing. And like you can't upgrade your guns with like overclocks until you get that gun specifically to like level 12. And that being said, like you have to then sit there and grind a level, get to level 12, and then do it again and do it again. And it's like, I'm good. Like it's fun for maybe a minute or two every day, but like that's about it. Like play a level once a day, you're good. I think for what it's worth, for $8.99, it's definitely a $10 game. Like it feels like a $10 game. I would have paid more for more content.
Right.
I feel as though like, yeah, I got my money's worth at $10 though.
Yeah, for sure.
That's really what it's about. Just getting the money's worth, making the
Mhm.
dollar stretch.
Yeah, it honestly is because so many games now we're playing. Like this is definitely a seventh of like I don't know, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. It feels like a seventh of the content, if not more. And Call of Duty's $70, and this is only $8.99.
Can't beat it. Can't beat it.
So
Yeah, that's great
like it's definitely a good game for your money.
for sure. All right, guys. Were there any other games you guys wanted to highlight before we got into the meat of our podcast?
So about Baldur's Gate 3. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead. Let's hop on out of here. I'm done.
You good, Roger?
Yeah, let's move on to the next one.
Yeah, man. Let's go ahead and move on to our industry news. All right, guys. So industry was I would say on fucking fire lately, like not even in a good way with the industry news here. So Roger, if you want to start off with I guess the only maybe positive news of the week from the industry.
Sure, I guess here. Maybe positive. Disney
Yeah,
buys
question
a
mark.
$1.5 billion stake in Epic Games to create a new expansive universe within Fortnite for Disney.
About to get that Elsa skin, and I'm just gonna fucking rock everybody.
Elsa just running around with an assault rifle.
Well, the idea is like it almost seems like they're creating like the like Disney World, Disney Park, but like
Yeah,
in
it's gonna work
Fortnite,
similar. It's gonna work similar to the Fortnite racing, Rocket Racing, the Fortnite Festival. The idea is to build an expansive world where you can now collaborate. But this doesn't stop there. We are getting a whole skin collection as well.
mhm,
We're gonna see things like Deadpool skins, you know?
right? As you guys can
You're
see up
gonna
here on
see
screen, like this is some of the examples and like stuff that they're working towards. Like there's gonna be different worlds. Like you guys see Star Wars, you see Avatar, you got the regular Disney stuff for like Pixar, and like a lot of the other stuff they own, like ESPN, Lucasfilms, their cruise
well,
line off to the right here, like
and like not to mention like if you watch the Disney Cross Epics games, the official collaboration announcement, like some of the things they show isn't just Fortnite. Like Fortnite is just a small portion of what they want to do. Like they're even looking to put like Lightning McQueen inside of Rocket League.
well, yeah, I think it already is, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, a lot of
Yeah.
stuff because they're bringing over like some of the Star Wars
Yeah.
stuff, like they're bringing over like Mandalorian, Baby Yoda, like
hmm
that's all going to be in like Rocket League and stuff. And honestly,
Uh,
they already have the like the crossover. Like Fortnite, you think about all of the skins because we talk about how Fortnite is the metaverse, right? Like they already have like a ton of different Disney IP stuff within it. But some people have been modding it. They've been bringing in like Mickey Mouse into it. I was just like, yeah, the stuff that they're going to be able to do within Fortnite is going to be out of this world, literally. What's your thoughts on this, Scott?
it seems fun. It's this is ambitious. But like you said, Fortnite is the metaverse. Chaz Michaels is figure skating when it comes to Fortnite and the universe that they've been able to create with that, and all of the things that they've been able to bring in, do their crossover events. So like, I mean, this seems like it's gonna be right up Disney's alley, especially with the players, the main players of Fortnite. This could really be huge.
Right.
So
I'm curious to check it out. Obviously, I hopped back on the Fortnite train and been playing a lot of the newer stuff.
Mhm.
Not even the regular Fortnite. I haven't touched a battle royale in forever. I've been trying to tap into like all this stuff. And actually, one of the things I didn't put on my list was they added prop hunt into Fortnite. Like I played that in Call of Duty a lot of the times, and I was like, man, like this shit was hilarious playing prop hunt in Fortnite. Like that was good times. So yeah, Fortnite, man, metaverse. All right, Roger, let's go ahead and continue on to the burning news of the world.
Yeah, so Nintendo has confirmed that there will be legal action taken against Palworld in some form or another. The CEO of Nintendo has said that, and I quote, actions will be taken. The infringe on our Nintendo's intellectual property rights. So at this point, the Nintendo has said that once they're prepared, action is going to be taken. Something's going to come down on Palworld. Let's just hope it's not too severe.
Right, I agree, and I mean, but this got to go to court, and maybe the court, like I said, understands that. Hey, that line that we were talking about before, they literally went up into the line and say, "Hey, Nintendo, they never
They
crossed
kissed
it,
that
bro."
fucking line,
And
dude.
they
Oh
just
yeah,
never
they
crossed it.
just danced on it. They just danced. They just did a nice little cha-cha slide right up to that fucking line, and
And then
then
they hit that Michael Jackson when they go on the tippy toes and like, whoo,
yep, just
and back
right
down.
there. I mean, honestly, Nintendo, good luck. Uh, good luck. And if you're really that upset about it, make better fucking games.
Yeah, that's honestly where I'm standing here. Like, this should be a call to Nintendo to get their shit together because Pokemon has been in a stale state for a long time. And the only thing really truly keeping Nintendo alive is the fact that we have brain dead children who, let's be honest, they're just an easy, impressionable market that will whip out their mom or dad's credit card for any little thing. Fortnite is a big example
Look
of
at
why
you,
this is
Disney
true.
Fortnite. Look at you,
Fortnite. Disney and Fortnite, exactly, is exactly what I'm getting at. And Nintendo doesn't need to innovate with Pokemon. All they need to do is just look at a real world object and say, "Yeah, let's make that into a Pokemon." Okay, cool.
Like,
They'll
let's turn
eat
Gatorade
they'll
into
eat the
Pokemon.
worst shit. Like
Yeah.
the fact that like Sword and Shield as well as Scarlet and Violet were dumpster fire at best.
Yeah,
Honestly goes to show that they don't have to innovate. They don't have to get the fans what they want because the fans are still going to simp over
Mhm.
Pokemon.
yeah. Pokemon's
100%
just massive. It's
Oh,
insane.
yeah.
I mean, see what happens when they try to release that limited edition, like one of one, that Picasso Pikachu or whatever at the museum, and the museum was getting overran like by like trampling people, and then they were like, "That's not good. We're going to actually release a billion of these cards now." Like, it just eliminates the fact that they don't have to worry about that anymore. But it's just like, yeah, Pokemon doesn't have to innovate. Like, the closest to innovation was, I guess, Legends of Arceus, because that was something completely different than what their mainstream games were. I mean, maybe before that was Pokemon Go, but that wasn't even by Nintendo or at all. That was Niantic. Yeah, like it wasn't even them.
The fine makers of Ingress.
Yeah, right. Pokemon Go before Pokemon Go.
Yeah, exactly. But really, what does Nintendo want out of this? What are they gonna do? They're gonna try to sue Palworld. They're gonna try to get the game shut down, try to get it pulled. So what? So they can go ahead and not fucking make the same game. So they can go ahead and just not do anything with Pokemon.
Yeah,
and then they just get the rest of the world pissed off with them. Like, it's a pitching that.
We got to look at, like, okay, if you're going to go after Palworld, are you also going after Nexamon or whatever the other one is?
Yeah, it's like, yeah, you are the name behind the idea of Pokemon, but like at this point, it's just another game. You don't own that. You aren't the only owner of that specific type of game.
And the thing is, I don't even think I talked about this on a podcast before, but I was listening to some more people talk about the litigations of this, and it was like, that's like saying like PUBG can sue everybody who's ever created a battle royale.
Exactly.
Like you cannot trademark like a type of game or like that kind of stuff. It just doesn't. You just can't. Like, you cannot like protect, like, oh, you're not allowed to capture Pokemon, like that concept of capturing creatures.
Throwing a Pokeball is illegal.
You're not allowed to make that in any other game, only ours. Like, you cannot copyright that.
And what's going to happen? Like, say they do get something. Say somebody does cradle Nintendo's balls and lets this go through. Like, then what? You're not knocking down the door for your devs, telling them to give fucking Pikachu a Glock 17. Like, you're not doing that. So the purpose behind this is irrelevant, because you're still gonna do the same thing that you've always been fucking doing.
Right.
And it's just now you actually have competition and you don't like it. So,
and like, the crazy thing to me is, like, there's shit like MetaZoo out there. This is literally Pokemon cards with a different name. It is the same concept. It is so up to the line the same without being without.
Yeah, I see.
MetaZoo? You didn't know about this? This was huge.
yeah.
MetaZoo is all over the card community. It was pretty much the Pokemon competitor in the space that it's in, because Magic is in a whole different space, and so is all the other card games made by Bushiroad. Like, they're completely different animals at this point. But like,
No pun intended.
MetaZoo was like, this is like in the same tier, mimicking it. It is to re-release that feel of the classic 90s Pokemon. They didn't get sued.
They're not
But now
water
that
type. They're wet
Palworld's
type.
making billions of dollars. They're like, whoa,
That's ours. You can't do
that
that.
electric mouse is copyright infringement.
Yeah. Hey, we were gonna not do that. You guys can't do that. We were gonna not do that. So no, give us the money. Give us the money. It's just get fucked, stay fucked. Honestly, it's gonna be stupid. It's gonna be a stupid lawsuit. And I really hope nothing comes out of this.
Scott, you love seeing the word lawsuit. It's not gonna be the last time.
It is not, because speaking of lawsuits, WWE 2K24 has actually removed Brock Lesnar from the special edition cover due to siding with Janelle Grant, who is a former WWE employee who is filing a lawsuit against Vince McMahon, containing a very long list of very disturbing allegations, including but not limited to sexual assault and sex trafficking.
I mean, like, if our ex-president is allowed to sexually assault people, I think everyone's allowed. It should be a law now, you know? Just allowed to.
That is reserved for the highest office. Okay,
I'm
you
sorry.
do not
I
taint.
apologize.
You do
Damn.
not taint. that is president only. What, BJ's under your desk and sexual assault.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is reserved. That is reserved for presidents only. Okay, we can't. If we don't let them do that, then they are just like everybody else, and we can't allow that. That's not. They have to feel special. They have to, or else they're not going to feel like they're the president. You know.
Yeah. On a serious note, I did have a question. Maybe you guys know some answers. Maybe we'll get it in the future. But like, isn't this like also some form of like retaliation? Like a company can't remove you from this stuff because like you're siding with somebody who's pressing charges against you. Like, what if he's right and like that side understands like, yeah, what you were doing was wrong. Like, couldn't he then file for like damaging because like he was going to get paid from this, right?
Officially, I don't know. Officially, I'm not a lawyer. I wouldn't. This doesn't sound like retaliation because that's really more of like that's covered under like the Whistleblower Act.
Right.
Whereas this is where this is more of just you're taking a side, and some of the things you might not like. Would you have a guy on a cover who is actively siding with somebody who's suing your company?
No, I mean it looks bad. Yeah, I mean I get it.
It looks bad. As far as this being retaliation, probably not. I mean, it would be in the. This is just the other side of the coin, where like say Brock Lesnar was going against Janelle Grant, and Brock Lesnar was part of the allegations. Like
Right.
removing him because he was part of the allegations. Like yeah, absolutely. So
That's
you would
a
also
PR
remove.
move.
Yeah, you would also remove somebody who's actively on the other side of that. As far as retaliation, I don't think so. But then again,
It toes that line.
It does.
It does.
And the thing is, maybe retaliation might not be the word that I'm specifically looking for, but like some kind of like damaging effect, like one for his identity of himself, and then also just like losing out on money because like when you get taken away from money, like that's causing damage to you, and people will sue for that for losses of money for that. They're like,
it's
well, that was money.
retaliatory, but I don't think you can say it's direct retaliation, but it is retaliatory because you don't want somebody against your brand promoting your brand, if that makes sense.
No, yeah.
So
I get the move.
It's 6 in one and a half dozen in the other, but I agree. It doesn't pass the sniff test.
Right, because it almost seems like this could be a lose-lose for 2K at the time because, like, one, they could get really big trouble if this whole, they're not really directly involved with this, but, like, if the WWE is having issues with sex trafficking and sexual assault, and they are tied to that, they're going to be like, fuck.
Yeah, but and it also there's also quite there's a lot of unknowns. Like we did if they paid Brock Lesnar to use his likeness, they can do whatever the fuck they want with it. They can put it on the cover. They can not put it on the cover.
Already been paid.
And if he's already been paid, then this isn't like a loss of revenue. Now if they were like, hey, we're not going to do this, we want that money back. That's where you're going to start getting a little bit more.
He may have been like, it depends on the contract too, because I'm sure it's based off of how many games are sold as well. Not only for the likeness, like, hey, we're paying you an upfront amount for putting your face on the cover, but I'm sure there's amount based on how many copies were sold as well. Because a lot of people I know sign contracts like that. They don't want that upfront amount. They want that. I want that long-term money. How much are you going to sell of this kind of thing? And that was the same thing. Like for instance, like Michael Jordan, what he did with Nike. He was like what his mom did. Because she was the one that was in charge of all his deals and stuff like that back in the day. And she was just like, we don't want this money up front. We want that long-term investment, like that incentive, like how many pairs he sold, because she knew her son was going to make that brand so much bigger than what even Nike thought was going to be.
Yeah. And they were already a big brand.
Right.
Yeah. And I mean, they could have just been trying to save face, because at the end of this, they also do have more layoffs coming through. That was another thing that we have here was it's really an unknown number of developers at Visual Concepts. That's the studio behind NBA 2K and Lego 2K Drive. But it seems like layoffs really are like the big issue. Every week we talk about layoffs. At least every week that I've been on here, we've talked about layoffs, and we have even more coming up. Was the developer behind Disco Elysium, ZAUM? They have actually canceled its new game, and they're set to lay off a large number of employees. So regardless of Brock Lesnar payment, this, that, and the other thing, I mean, 2K is already going to be hurting because they're laying people off anyway, trying to save money in face now. And we just see more of that coming through the industry. And I think there's even a little bit more coming through, Vic.
Yeah, obviously we talked about Microsoft's layoffs 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, obviously, but some more inside information. Like part of the layoffs are going to be about 86 workers of the developer Toys for Bob's, which are like big time known time for like when they made like Spyro and Crash Bandicoot from back in the day. But their main facility is being closed and they're being relocated into a new studio, whether it's part of another studio or just like a much smaller studio in general. There's no official details on that. But
Well,
it's sad
they're
to
also
see.
being folded into Overwatch, I believe, as well as Call of Duty Warzone.
Possibly. I mean, they do that a lot.
Well,
Like,
that's on their actual website now, is that they are
Ah.
developers for Overwatch and Warzone.
I mean, yeah, I'm sure they always have been like a supporting studio for both of them. Like, they have not made their own game in a very long time, and
Mhm.
but it just sucks to see because there's a lot of developers that once made a lot of great games, been folded into the whole Call of Duty and now Overwatch development cycle. Sad to see. Hopefully, Microsoft can clean this up though and allow these developers to make games that they actually want to make and not make the same thing every year. But let's go ahead and move on to our gaming news this week because we got a lot to get into. So Microsoft news continues here with Xbox, and to kick it off was basically the biggest thing that was going on in gaming over the last like 2 weeks. There was like rumors that it started off small and got bigger and bigger, and Microsoft had to get in front of these rumors because they were going nuts, going fucking.
Oh
nuts.
yeah, absolutely. It was ravenous.
It
It's
went
the only
from
word.
it went from Hi-Fi Rush is coming to Switch to Gears of War might be coming to PlayStation 5, guys, and I was just like, whoa, how did we go that far? But yeah, it went from like Hi-Fi Rush to Sea of Thieves to Starfield, Indiana Jones. Like it kept getting worse, like snowballing.
One
And
one
then,
cow kicks over a lantern, and now all of Chicago's burning.
and then on top of that, like people were like, is my Xbox going away? Xbox going full third party? Because like I had the whole conversation with Paul, aka Inhuman. I was like, I heard talks that they actually might like give out the rights. You know how I was talking about graphics card NVIDIA, right? How they give out the rights to like Asus and different companies to make their NVIDIA different graphics card, but it's all the same thing. Like, what if Xbox does it and they branch out and they say, hey, Asus and Acer and all the other brands, you can make your own Xbox to play Xbox games. And I thought that was going to be a thing, and that was a thing they also had to clear up. So Xbox had an emergency Xbox business update, and they did this via the Xbox podcast. And they had like the three big heads on there. They had Phil Spencer, Matt Booty, and Sarah Bond. And it was pretty cool to see all three of them. But they were just talking in corporate language, and I was like, I hate corporate talk because then you go in circles with corporate talk. Every question that was asked of them was almost like reiterating the same exact answer, but in a different way. And it was just driving me nuts. But they did
Just to
confirm
piggyback off what Booty said.
but they did confirm that they are slightly transitioning some of their games from Xbox exclusive to bringing it multi-platform. And this is kind of like a trial period for them because they are bringing 4 games. They didn't want to announce the 4 games on the show, but people kind of have like inside knowledge that the 4 games are going to be Hi-Fi Rush, Pentiment, Sea of Thieves, and Grounded. And Grounded and Sea of Thieves makes sense. It's a live service game. Get it out to more players. Makes sense. Hi-Fi Rush and Pentiment are just 2 passion projects that weren't like big time games. They don't sell the Xbox brand. So bringing them to multi-platform, okay. But they're going to be gauging the success from these 4, whether they bring Starfield and Halo and Gears to multi-platform, because the industry is growing to a point where like games are costing too much money. So they're trying to figure out how do we make that much money back, and by doing so is bringing it to more platforms. And Phil Spencer even said it. He said that 5-10 years that market of exclusive games is going to be very, very small. He hopes that there's going to be a point where there aren't any exclusive games. You buy the platform that you want to play on based on the UI or the experience or the ecosystem that you're buying into. And that kind of makes sense. Like, I love the Xbox ecosystem and I love the UI and what comes with it, like Game Pass. Like, you buy the game on Xbox, I can also play it on PC as long as it was available in the Microsoft store, not the Steam store, which is slightly different. So like what Xbox does is really beneficial to me and what I want a game, where PlayStation doesn't. PlayStation doesn't have that buy and play anywhere kind of mentality. You have to buy the game twice.
Yeah.
And that's the issue.
It honestly, it blows my mind. Luckily, hopefully, PlayStation will start to do, nut up and shut up with what they said and actually bring it to PC and PlayStation. But yeah, it's so much better on Microsoft. And like I hate to say that I'm not always the rooting for Microsoft, but they're winning. They really are winning in here, and it it's almost stupid to me to have these exclusives anymore. Like that's why I'm so PC master race, and I
Right.
think most of the community is.
And it's just mind blowing. Like with the whole idea of cross play, cross platform, cross saves. Like a lot of games where like you can play it on PlayStation, like Destiny, for instance, you can play it on PlayStation and then go play on Xbox with the same save file. Like
Mm-hmm.
it cross saves. Like that is so viable. Like it doesn't matter where you play it anymore, as long as you play the game. And it's like PlayStation is kind of dabbling in it finally. Like obviously, like for example, MLB The Show. I know this wasn't Sony's doing. This is the MLB's doing, but like that game went multi-platform already. And obviously, we're seeing the success by PlayStation bringing their games day and date multi-platform, which we're going to dive into a little bit more. No pun intended there. Helldivers. Helldivers 2 is doing exceptionally well. Over 330,000 concurrent players on Steam. It's insane. It just works. But to circle back here to the Xbox business update, they did reveal that Diablo 4 is coming to Game Pass in March. So that's awesome. I was like, man, I was looking
Now I
forward to
don't
playing
need to
it.
buy it.
I don't need to buy it. Yeah, I was like, yeah, this is fucking great. And what was also said during the show was that every first party game from Xbox will still come to Game Pass day and date, because that was also another concern, was Xbox moving away from the day and date idea. And it's not. And they reaffirmed that and they confirmed it as well. And now it's speculating, does the next Call of Duty then that comes out this year, does that have to come to Game Pass then day one? Based off of that statement, that could save me a ton of money as well. And if the Call of Duty's bad, hey, I didn't spend $70 or $100 on another bad game. So that was another thing they touched on, and they kind of teased like they have new hardware in the works that they're going to be either talking about or releasing this holiday. I didn't really quite understand how they worded it. So that this holiday we're going to see new hardware, but they also do have the next generation roadmap planned out, and it seems like they're going to be kind of releasing the next generation before PlayStation, kind of how they did the 360 came out a whole year in advance before the PS3. And that's when Xbox was probably at its all-time peak. Their best generation was that time frame. So
What a time. it was so good.
I went from a PS2. I went from this PS2 that's on my desk to a 360 because of how great it was. But yeah, man. So I'm glad I got ahead of it. It's interesting to see, and I'm glad, man, because like I'm on board. It's like play whatever you want, wherever you want, however you want. Like with the whole handheld market, the mobile market, the PC market, like Microsoft even confirmed during the show that Xbox is wherever a screen is. It's no longer like a console. If you play on PC, that's Xbox. You play on your TV, that's Xbox. You play on your phone, that's also Xbox, guys. So that's really awesome to see there. You guys have any comments or other remarks from this business update?
No, none here. I mean, you really said it and sounded very passionate while you were saying it. 100% agree with you on that.
Yeah, I mean, because the business update happened while I was at work, and I was like, hey guys, I'll be right back. Gotta go listen and watch this podcast, because they went live at like 3 o'clock, and I was like really in tune, and I was going back and forth between Inhuman. I was like it just makes sense. What they're doing is working. They're winning.
Honestly, they would succeed if they did what Steam did. Steam released their OS just free for anyone to use. Just load up a machine, pop it in, and go. Like Steam, you can load it on any computer. It's a whole OS, a Linux OS, ready to go.
Yeah, it just works. And like that's also a lot of questions that the community have, is like, if Xbox is so much like they want you to play on any device, like why not have like a native Game Pass app or native Xbox app on a lot of these handhelds? And I understand the mobile market was really hard because of all the lawsuits, but that's going to be changing here soon with the Epic and Apple lawsuit making massive impacts to the industry. But Microsoft is like, they're thinking so far into the future that I hope that they don't make the same mistake they did with the Xbox One, because everything that they did at the launch of Xbox One, where they got all of the backlash, the where you have to play online, the whole digital, the
So
all-in-one
much
entertainment.
stuff was staged. That's the problem. Microsoft staged so much and made up and just lied a lot during the Xbox One era, especially with the Kinect. There was so much false just blatant lies on stage. They had people pretending to play games that they weren't actually playing.
Right.
They were actors, with pre-recorded stuff. So, you can chalk up their failure to the fact that they just overpromised and actually were just lying. Like they developed, they
some of that
paid
stuff,
for.
yeah, for sure. But I'm talking about like all of the decisions that they were trying to go for with that generation was far ahead of its time, because it was trying to be like, on your Xbox, you're going to be able to watch TV and movies, and everyone was like, no, nobody does that. It's only about games. But guess what? Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, what do you have? Netflix, Hulu, Paramount Plus, like you have everything
They
on that
saw
one
the
console.
subscription services breaking out, and
That's what I'm saying. Like they were always ahead of the market, but yeah, they were just way too early, ahead of its time, and they forced it upon people as opposed to saying, "Hey, this is going to be the options in the future, guys."
So with that, do you think the ends did justify the means?
In the long run,
What they have now, and what they're working towards now justifies all the staging and all the bullshit they had to do to get here.
Oh yeah, I mean they learned a lot at that time. They were under different leadership. Once Phil Spencer took over, it was like a whole flip of the switch. Like the team got on board, the messaging started to become clear. They listened to the community. They continued to grow.
lying.
They stopped lying. They started to do all the right
Blatantly
PR
lying.
stuff. So it only made sense. But I could sit here and talk about this shit all night long. But let's just talk about one thing that Phil Spencer did confirm. Interesting enough, a fan reached out to him on Xbox in like the messages app on the Xbox, and to ask him about like, hey, are we ever going to be able to play the games that we buy digitally and be able to play them via the xCloud? And he goes, yes, it is on the way soon. So hopefully we do see that ability to play those games soon. Right now you can only play free-to-play games via the xCloud, cannot play games that you have bought, which is interesting enough. But that'll be interesting to see down the road. But talking about services here for Game Pass editions, a lot of these already have come out already. So you got Uncharted came to cloud, console and PC, Train Sim World 4, Madden 24, Resident Evil 3 Remake, which I want to talk about that one here in a second, Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, A Little to the Left, Played Up, and the next game that comes out here in a couple days is Return to Grace. MLB The Show did get announced that it is coming to Game Pass again, day one, on March 19th. But to circle back though real quick, Resident Evil 3. We just got Resident Evil 2 Remake last month. We get Resident Evil 3 this month. Do we get Resident Evil 4 Remake next month? I mean, it seems like it's trending that way. And it seems like Xbox is having a really great partnership right now with Capcom. So I'm loving to see the connections that Xbox is reaching out with all of these, especially with like Square Enix, Capcom, Sega. Like everyone is trying to work together. And it doesn't look like that on the PlayStation side all the time. Any thoughts on that, guys?
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
No, I insist.
I insist.
Oh, Jesus.
I think the everything is on the Xbox side of the house with especially like Resident Evil, Capcom. They have been having a very good relationship, and I think the I don't want to say collusion isn't the word, but the lack of I would say like a connectedness with PlayStation and a lot of the developers and a lot of things, like a lot of people are really seeing that, and we're over here once again on the Xbox side. Things are nice. We're Xbox and Microsoft they're doing it. They're winning. At this point, it's just easy for them. The collaboration that they've been working on, the things that we've been getting because of it, has been really nice. So I could see Resident Evil 4 easy peasy. That's just gonna be another feather.
And honestly, I think the big thing they need to keep in mind, and what they're probably doing, and I don't know if we've been really calling it out here, is the fact that they're choosing to go for these games, the Square Enix, the Capcom. They're trying to appease that sort of legacy gamer, the older gamers, the 40 pluses who've been around when gaming truly got its start with the Sega, the early consoles, the early arcade machines.
Mm-hmm.
Resident Evil is one of those games as old as gaming itself. It isn't truly that old, but it is a franchise as old as we are. It is 30 years old.
Yeah.
And I think it's nice to see that it's almost, I wouldn't say poaching, but it's nice to see them bring, Resident Evil 2 Remake, Resident Evil 3, and like you said, this Capcom stuff that originally when I played the first 3 Resident Evils, I played them on a PlayStation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and
it's
they're
definitely
just
synonymous for sure. We didn't see
they're
Resident Evil
yeah.
on Xbox. I want to say not until the 360. Could be wrong.
I think it was Resident Evil 5
It was definitely on the
or
360.
6,
I played 5
but it
with
was definitely
Roger on the
360.
360.
But yeah, but it and like to be able to just go reach back in that past, do a little yoink and just drop that for us. I think that's a really nice collaboration that they've been working with to be
For
able to
sure.
get that to us.
Yeah. Some games that have already left though on the 15th. If you missed them, sucks to suck, but these games aren't really that big. The Galactic Civilization 3 left PC Game Pass. Opus Echoes of Starsong left Cloud Console and PC on the 15th. So nothing too big there, but sad to see when games go. But they can always come back. We see that from time to time.
Well, Galactic Civilization is actually a rather large series. Like it does pretty well. It's sort of it's one of those games that crosses both video game and also tabletop. Like it is a board game.
Yeah.
I think seeing this hit the store was pretty big, especially since they just released the fourth one. This
Okay.
was their marketing stunt, I think, and
maybe 4
it
comes to
may
Game
have-
Pass soon, because you know how they usually
Maybe.
like drop the older one and add the newer game to it.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was going for here. Is maybe this was a PR stunt to really get players who've never played this really old game series. Like Galactic Civilizations, I believe is early 2000s.
Yeah. Yeah, I know you've always been big into the those kind of games. Did you ever play Galactic Civ?
I didn't play Galactic Civ, no, but I played others in the same
The
genre.
first Galactic Civ came out March 25th, 2003.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely been around for quite some time.
Old enough to drink.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Moving on to some game updates here. Overwatch 2. Yes, Roger, we are still talking about Overwatch 2 because Season 9 came out just a few days ago, known as Champions. This came out on the 13th. There's a rank reset, live progress tracking during ranked matches, new cosmetics like jaded style weapons, new mythic skin for Moira based on the Lovecraftian style horror, a variety of new skins, features, and a new collaboration with Cowboy Bebop. And I think there's like a new map as well that I didn't include here on the list, but I don't know what it's going to take for Overwatch to get that community back. You know,
Yawn. Audible groan.
Like the fact that I play Moira like makes me a little upset that like if this game ever actually becomes better, I'm looking at the skin going, well shit. It's one of those things you're gonna miss out on.
Right.
Like that's the only thing
FOMO.
that makes me ever think about going back is like, ooh, Cowboy Bebop collab. That's cool.
Yeah. It's crazy to think that like Fortnite truly started all of this, like the collaborations like with different IPs and pop culture stuff, and you're seeing the crossover events all the time, and Fortnite was one of the main ones that really started this, that really took it to the next level. But let's move on to another game from Xbox, and that's Forza Motorsport, because they are listening to community here with some new upcoming changes and updates. The car progression that they added to this game, where it's like an RPG mechanic within a driving game, which is a little interesting. You level up your car up to level 50, and each level you unlock like different parts that you can then upgrade your car to make it better. Now kind of changed around, because now you're going to be able to, all of the parts for the car will now be unlocked at car level 1, but like each level will allow you to unlock like only like a couple at a time, based off like your credits and stuff like that you have, and you can install them in any order. So that's pretty cool there. They are testing out a new car points will be attained with in-game credits, so they're testing a new ratio, 4,500 credits to 500 car points. So we'll see how that translates. But they're still keeping the on-track time required to reach level 50 with your car at about 2 or 3 hours. It's a lot, man. Like, this is a game that has like hundreds of cars, and if you're thinking about like trying to get each car to level 50, like this is your game. Like, this is the only game that you play, and
Until the end when you wipe. When you have one fight left.
yeah, when they get to start over. No, but yeah, there's a lot of content, a lot of stuff that they keep doing with Forza Motorsport, and they recently just added like one of the new maps. I'm blanking on the name. It's one of the biggest maps in the world when it comes to like F1. Let me see if I can pull it up now as I mentioned it.
Nürburgring.
Yeah, that one. And they added a bunch of other like bug fixes to the game as well. So it's awesome to see that map's back, because Roger, I know you played a lot of the previous Forza Motorsport games in the past. That map was always there and one of the best maps to play on. as well.
Yeah, in the same vein of people that just keep on winning, Forza is up there. Forza has been just winning and winning and winning.
Yeah, and I haven't played Motorsport in a while just because I'm more in part to I like the Horizon series 1,000 times better. I've been playing Forza Horizon 5. It was on my list, didn't talk about it. But like they had like the event, like the Chinese Lunar New Year event. That shit was so badass. Like they took the one stadium and like added like all the the Lunar New Year like decorations and stuff like that. All of the stuff around the event that you had to do was all themed and centered around it. I was like, this is so fucking dope. And like I wanted to play it because of how awesome it was. And those kind of events keep you around if they're good events and the rewards are worth.
That's how to keep a
earning.
live service game going correctly. Is free events
Free events and
that
yeah,
keep the community going.
I have never spent any money for any of the stuff in the game. It's not like battle passes and cosmetic bundles. Like no, if I want to buy the card bundles, yeah, that's separate. But I have the ability to earn that kind of stuff through these events. Why not do that way? Enough Xbox, Roger. Let's move on to some PlayStation news. Not really much going on, just updated to some of their services.
Yeah. Honestly, PlayStation, other than their big win with Helldivers 2, the PS Plus games catalog had an update this month, or is going to have an update. Extra and premium tiers are going to see Need for Speed Unbound, The Outer Worlds Spacer's Choice Edition, Tales of Arise, Tales of Zestria, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Lego Worlds and Lego Jurassic World, Rogue Book, and Rogue Lords. Premium will also see 4 new classics added to the list, which is Tales of Symphonia, Tales of Vesperia, Resistance Retribution, and Jet Moto 2. So, like, honestly, I'm excited to see that the Tales of series, like, almost the whole catalog is coming to PlayStation if you have the premium tier.
Right. And that's actually another one I left off on the Xbox. It was confirmed that Tales of Arise, because that hasn't, it's not out yet, is also coming to Game Pass day one, which is huge because that series is typically not on Xbox, and it's just started to, but coming to Game Pass day one is going to be huge.
Well, the thing is, like, I played Tales of Zestria, I believe it was. It was on Xbox day one. That's where I played it. I played it on the 360.
Yeah, February 20th is when Tales of Arise drops, and it's coming to Game Pass day one, which is really awesome to see.
Yeah, it honestly, it's one of those games where I'm excited to play it.
But
I like Tales of.
let's shout out PlayStation for getting the whole series. Basically, like 4 of the games are going to be part of the subscription service that Xbox doesn't have all 4 of the games.
Mm-hmm.
So
And get to Xbox.
And you can play in the meantime while waiting.
Yeah. Which, I mean, those are massive games, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So, I mean, you got a lot of content if you're really big into that series.
Yeah, there's a lot of extra content. It's a JRPG, you really are getting a bang for your buck. But let's talk about the games that Sony has been bringing to the community. Spider-Man 2 New Game Plus has finally been confirmed for March 7th, which will include new suits, audio descriptions, ability to change the time of day at any time, swap tendril colors, and replay missions that you may not have liked how you played them. Helldivers 2, well, this is honestly the biggest success I think we've seen this year. It even destroyed Palworld, and that's saying something, Don't get me wrong, it's a AA, AAA game, but like it dropped on both PC and on PlayStation. What happened? They got 300,000 concurrent players on Steam alone. Like if PlayStation doesn't stop and go, there's the numbers. There it is. That's the proof. Let's do it.
Oh, wow. Breaking news in regards to this game. Arrowhead has announced that they cap Helldivers 2 at 450,000 concurrent players in order to improve server stability. That was 23 hours
This
ago.
is a AAA game that came out that is actually fucking acting like a AAA game.
Yeah. And not to mention, they're like, we didn't expect to hit 500,000 players. Shit.
Yeah, and now they're going, hey, we gotta stop this for a minute. Like, hold on.
Yeah.
They heard that I was gonna play, and they said, fuck that.
Yeah.
So
more news. It's up to 398,447 concurrent players as of 4 minutes ago.
that's a very exact approximation.
Yeah. Thanks to Steam charts.
So the servers are actually getting pounded. There have been bugs and crazy issues with the game day one, but they've all been patched, fixed. They've responded to all of these issues, within hours or within a day or two. Like it is turning around. This game is just succeeding. It sounds like
Oh,
it
they just
came
shit
out
at
to
Golden Age.
overwhelmingly negative reviews because people were like, can't play the game, fuck. And then within hours they're like, fixed, go, and everyone's like, oh my god, this is amazing.
Yeah,
You know what's
they
interesting though
just
is
shit
like
at
they
Golden
haven't
Egg,
released
and they're gonna take care of it.
they haven't released any numbers in regards to how many players are actually playing on PS5 because clearly this is a huge success on the PC market, but like we don't know how successful this game is on the PS5.
Yeah, and I think the thing is, it's a lot harder for them to gauge that number. It seems compared because like reporters can't get that number. They have to go to PlayStation. PlayStation would have to release this number. PlayStation isn't releasing the Steam numbers.
Right.
Reporters, we literally just went to Steam and looked at the chart in real time. We reported on it. You know, Steam, like Sony isn't going, look at how well it's doing. No, reporters are saying, dude, this shit's fire. It's
Right.
literally going off the shelf.
Like, yo, this shit's fucking legit.
Because like honestly, like what if it's like barely doing anything on the PS5?
I was just thinking that they're like, look at this fucking amazing game that we put out. They're like, awesome. How many people are playing that on PlayStation?
Yeah, but how many people we have? on
Look
PC?
at how many people are playing this on Steam. That's cool.
Yo, Jim and his 7 friends were playing yesterday, but like that's about it.
How many people are playing? How many people are playing on the PlayStation? How many people, Dwight?
Yeah, so I mean, it's awesome to
Alright.
see though. Finally, see a big success from PlayStation. And look, Roger, you've been saying this since day one. No pun intended there. That if you release your games day one, day and day on your console and PC at the same time, the success is going to be there. When you release a game a year, 2 years later down the road to a PC, of course it's not going to succeed. That hype is gone.
Nobody
left the
gives a
building.
shit
Well,
anymore.
you know, you have to be a big fan. Like, I know the only reason Spider-Man got reinvigorated in our group in the Lunacy Arts Discord was the fact that people were like, I love Spider-Man. I'm going to play it now it's on PC since I didn't have a PS5. And I'm like, I'm sorry to hear that, but I played it on PS5.
Right. Oh yeah. All right, Scott.
Yeah,
Let's go ahead and
So-
move on here to the next topic here.
Yeah, we spoke quite a bit earlier about Resident Evil.
Yeah.
So we do have some news coming out. So Craig Bernatowski, for those who are unfamiliar, that is the voice actor for Albert Wesker. If anybody remembers Wesker, the voice actor for him, he confirmed that there is a new game in development for this franchise.
I'm so
Right.
excited.
Yeah,
It's-
Roger, you
it's
dropped
there.
this. You dropped this article into the like. I just created the channel, and it was in
And
there
then
like a
just-
second later. Like
and
I
then-
literally
Immediately.
hung up the chat. I literally hopped off the podcast and like opened my phone and there's a news article right at the top and I was
Pop.
like,
copy paste.
and you were like,
Just
I want
pop.
this first.
But,
I was
like,
go
it's-
for
it's-
it, whatever, man.
But once again, we're getting a new Resident Evil game. It's exciting. It's an exciting time. I think with that news and with the remakes coming back out on the Xbox, with the massive success that the Resident Evil 4 remake was, I think that really did reinvigorate a lot of people's love for this game. And to see what they come out with is going to be just exciting. It's going to be interesting. I can't wait to see just what they do, what storylines they follow, because there's just so much stuff that they can do, and it's exciting.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And I haven't played Resident Evil probably since 6. Like I bought 6, and I know it's probably like arguably the worst game in the series by far. But I remember picking it up on midnight launch, and actually GameStop gave me like one of their big ass posters that'd be on the window. Like I got one of those posters. I loved the artwork that was behind it. But nonetheless, like I haven't played a Resident Evil since then. Period. I've never played 7, never played 8, never played any of the remakes. I should, but we do see the success behind this franchise, and like Resident Evil 4 remake was in talks for Game of the Year. Whether it should be there or not, we have already had that discussion. But it's like people love these games. This franchise has been here longer than we probably been born.
It's such a well, you guys. It's such a as the resident old guy here. I mean, it's such a phenomenal franchise. I mean, it's still to this day
Never
like
mind. I was 3 when it came out.
one of the games that just scared the absolute bullshit out of me when I was a kid playing that. Man, I was creeped out. Like if you don't get chills like on your spine when you hear Nemesis like just off in the distance somewhere, and like they made a generation collectively shit their pants.
Right.
I mean, it's amazing. And I'm just excited at this point. I'm just rambling because I can't wait. It's gonna be great.
I'm just curious to
8
see
was
where they go.
awesome.
Because like
8 was awesome. Unlocked new kinks, so that was a little weird. But
because I'm curious to see where they go with the next Resident Evil game. Obviously, we've seen 7 and 8 like go a completely different path than like the OGs before it, because it went first person. It kind of took it back to that really like claustrophobic setting, where like the other ones were pretty open, like open area kind of game. So I'm wondering if they stick to how it's been, or do they go back to how it used to be? That's going to be the biggest question mark that we got.
yeah, it's just gonna be a question. We could sit here and we could say, oh, maybe it'll be this, maybe it'll be this, maybe it'll be this. But
Just real quick side topic. Shout out since Phil's in the chat.
hit it up.
He did redeem his points for his free shirt. I got to get it to him. That's the front of it with his shout out to his name on the back. So it'll be on its way soon, buddy. Appreciate your love and support to the for the channel.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Philipper. But man, it's just a fun time. But
Yeah, man.
we'll have to move on at some point because if we don't, we're just gonna be talking about Resident Evil for the next
Right.
8 months.
If Bruno were here, he'd be like, like we'd be deep throating Resident Evil tonight.
I mean, I get it.
But
I understand.
talking about the next topic here, you did aforemention this topic here with Apex Legends. They did have a recent update here known as the Breakout update, and this one's really interesting. I did tag in the article here. I'll link it into the chat if anybody's interested in looking into this a lot deeper, or if anybody here on the panel wants to read it a little bit more. But basically, the idea behind this new update is like they understand the whole live service aspect, where like you might not play this game for 5, 10, couple weeks, doesn't matter. You might not, you don't play this game every day, right? But to hop back into the game, it's really difficult because you were left behind. This is trying to avoid that because it resets like the ability to play the game, because like each game starts fresh. You level up your player throughout the game, so everyone's on the same playing field, and like you have the ability to access like other cosmetics and different stuff like that. And I was like, this was such a consumer friendly move. Like this is really welcoming to the game, because I haven't played Apex in a while. Roger, I tried to introduce this to you and you're like, man, this game is just fucking crazy. Like,
Yeah,
you get,
honestly,
you get left
the game,
behind in the game if you don't play this all the time.
yeah, you have to know what's going on because the game itself just gets so very the word I'm looking for is technical, I guess. It gets so very technical and you have to almost marry yourself to a character, and like you have to literally become them in some aspects, where it's like you just start playing around and stuff and you're like, I don't know where I'm going. I'm trying to learn my character. If you don't know your character, you don't know how to do anything you're trying to do. It just gets so impossible to play. And honestly, I think this is a way for invigorating a game that is otherwise dying.
Yeah.
Agreed. 100%. I remember I played that game when it first came out, had a great time. I had to, go do some business in a desert, and came back, and it was a completely different game. Totally left behind, but this seems like it's gonna help alleviate a lot of that.
Yeah. Maybe we see this come to other games, honestly. I mean, Roger, we just hopped into Valorant today for the first time in months. It may and we got trashed on, honestly. Like we felt like we had not played the game in forever. That one guy that you shouted out his level, he was like level 600 and some. You know how much Valorant time that is? That is the only game he plays.
It plays anywhere from like 3 to maybe 5 games, like full regular games, to get a single player level. That dude had over 1,000 regular games. Each of one of those is 40 minutes. That's 4,000 minutes of your life.
It's fucking nuts. Oh,
well, obviously, obviously, since I love wasting my life playing some video games, you'll catch me there.
That is like 70 hours of just playing in the game.
Just think about how much Valorant have we played since I got my PC and we were playing, and we're about the same. We're all about the same level, like 100.
You and I were the same exact level. When we booted up today, we are the same exact level.
And what was that? Like
140 some.
40,
this dude's 650.
Yeah, nuts.
Was he at least on your team?
No.
Oh, no.
He also bottom fragged their team. We came back. I said, yo, what happens if we just actually crap on this kid. He went like 1-7, and me and Vic are over here with like double digits, and I was like, man,
Yeah. You're like, I
those
guess
hours did nothing for him.
That just goes to prove that the longer you play, the higher you'll get. It's all it is. At no point is it, and it's not a quality of your gameplay anymore. It's just how long you've done it.
All right, Scott. Next topic here to a game that also has been around for a very, very long time.
I know the hits just keep on coming. This time it's going to be Final Fantasy XIV. So for Final Fantasy XIV, players will need to have at least Xbox Game Pass Core to play, while on PlayStation you do not need PS Plus at all.
Yeah. I mean, that's been like an issue that we've been having for a long time since Xbox Live was first introduced. But look at PC. You still don't need a subscription service to anywhere to play any games online. But yet on these other platforms, you got to play for their subscription services to play online. Why? I already pay for my internet.
Money laundering.
Yeah, makes sense.
At this point, it's just laundering.
Roger, any deep thoughts on this? Because I mean, you've had this kind of conversation before over this stuff.
I think honestly, the whole subscription service at this point, like to play on your network, is just getting a little. Like, I get it. I get why you do it. You want to have regular updates. You want to try to make things better. But like, PlayStation for years and years and years has been free. It's been free to hop on the network. All you need, if you want a service, it's to get there. It's to get something extra. Microsoft has always been like, well, if you want to play online, I want $15 a month. Like,
I guess it comes down to like, do you want your
10 or 12 years ago too? Like,
you want the network to be, it comes down to like, do you want the network to be hacked, or do you want it to play on a safe, secure network? And that's the whole PlayStation versus Xbox, paid versus
exactly.
unpaid.
I mean, like, that's straight up.
Whether they have any correlation, but like it does kind of go hand in hand. Like PlayStation, it's free to play, but it might.
But you get what you pay for.
Yeah, it might get hacked every other week. But Xbox, hey, you got to pay $18 a month. But hey, we like never get hacked. Knock on wood. Yeah. Funny.
Yep, I mean,
funny enough, funny, but yeah. Next up here, though, a game that took up a large chunk of my time in the month of October. I'm really glad it did, because one of my favorite games, game of the year for me, of 2023 was Lies of P, and it's getting a new free update. And it's an interesting one because they kind of already did this, but in reverse. They're having a crossover with Wolong Fallen Dynasty, because now they're bringing stuff from Wolong into Lies of P, as opposed to bringing stuff from Lies of P into Wolong. You get new weapons and armor. For the weapon, you get the Azure Dragon Crescent Glaive. Armor, you're getting the Armor of Honorable and the Bandana of Honorable. And this became available a couple days ago on the 14th. So anybody who's still playing this game, hasn't played the game, or who is a collector like Paul, aka Inhuman Line, you got some new stuff to go check out in the game.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what happens with the DLC.
Yes,
because we've already seen two of the artwork images, one on a pirate ship and one inside what looks like a water plant. But like, it honestly, it excites me. I'm just excited more though for Lies of D, the next game.
Yeah. Without spoiling anything, I love it. All right, Roger, you dropped this article into the chat too, and I was like, really?
Yeah, so Tencent is looking to turn their newest IP, Elden Ring, to a mobile. They're looking to bring it to mobile as a loot box and microtransaction game.
Everybody boo them.
Boo.
And in this moment, the entire world booed Tencent.
Collectively
Tencent's
booed.
over here like, we're losing our market share. Why are we... am I wrong? No. Everyone else must be wrong. Like,
am I out of touch? No.
Everyone
the people
else
that pay me are out of touch. Like, it's so man.
Yeah.
This is the most deserving of the shake of the head, wag of the finger. Like, that's it. That's the honorable shake of the head for the week, because god damn.
I mean,
yeah, they have a 16%.
You see what Blizzard did, right, with Diablo. They're like, we're going to turn Diablo into a mobile game, and it became like
a fucking joke.
It became a fucking money gun. They just started printing money for them because of all the
because
microtransactions.
there are some whales out there who have credit cards and don't care.
And that's the issue. That's why Tencent's going to do this with Elden Ring, the best game of 2022 or whatever year it was when it dropped. Like
2022.
Like it makes sense from a business standpoint, but from a consumer and from a gamer standpoint, No, we do not.
What?
Want
You guys
this.
don't have phones?
What? Yeah. Fucking
Madam
phones.
Web.
Where's the Madam Web watch through reaction? Jesus.
This is a gaming podcast.
Oh my god, I don't even know. I don't even know if you could pay me to watch that damn movie.
Yeah,
Oh
I was
my
super
God.
excited for it, but then like all the reviews and all the other stuff coming through, I'm like,
I know.
I don't know.
I didn't have high hopes for it. But man, watching some of the reviews coming out, it's just like to say it's a
literally
dumb-
just dropped into our chat and derailed the whole
just,
podcast.
just fucking straight up said, "Yo, how about that Madam Web?" And we're all just like, "Ah, fuck." Welcome to the Press Start Movies podcast because goddamn.
No,
Oh,
it's
man.
press play and
Yeah.
press start.
Press
Yeah,
play,
I-
yeah,
See,
there we go.
Don't be getting them gears turning because we can
Yep.
make it happen.
Not the Press Pause podcast.
Press pause. Yo, did you hear what this fucker said? Pause. I'm out.
Hey, yo, nah.
The
Nah.
can's off.
Oh,
you
fuck.
guys are on it tonight. But yeah, man. Ubisoft was in the news yet again because they wanted to kind of get ahead of all the rumors as well, kind of like Microsoft was doing, because like Star Wars Outlaws was rumoring like the release date, same with Assassin's Creed Red. They said, hey, Star Wars Outlaws is releasing this year of 2024, which is great. It's probably my most anticipated game of the year. It looks fucking phenomenal, but it is coming from Ubisoft, so I do have to have my
I mean, this
Temper
is also
those
the
expectations.
same guy. This is the same guy that 2 weeks ago said, "Yo, this Prince of Persia game
was
is
badass."
amazing."
yeah, but as long as they do Star Wars right, Star
Yeah, I
Wars
was gonna
can
say
never
it's-
overstay its welcome. Like it just
Yeah.
depends on how they do it.
You
But-
could make the most garbage Star Wars game, and my man's still over here.
No,
Fucking 9.5 out of 10.
There's been plenty of
9.5
Star
out
Wars
of
games
10.
that have not been good. So
Yeah, and I think it's the passion behind the IP.
Battlefront 1 and 2 from EA have been like god awful.
Dog.
Which don't
Paying
mind-
$60 to get Han Solo's blaster.
I don't know if you played Battlefront 2's campaign. Really solid, but it was like a 2-hour experience. So it was like, you shouldn't even have did this.
Yeah, the best thing that ever came out of Battlefront 2, 1 or 2
Or the memes.
were the memes.
In the lawsuit.
and they now own the most downvoted comment in Reddit history. That is it.
Damn.
They are the proud new owners of the most downvoted comment in Reddit history.
Bounty Hunter is definitely underrated.
Bounty Hunter, yeah, 100% underrated for sure, for sure. I just need that KOTOR 3. I'll buy a PlayStation for it. Fuck it. That's all I need.
How about this one? Star Wars Demolition, for anybody who remembers that one. Underrated PS1 game. But the other one here from the Ubisoft was Assassin's Creed Red. They did confirm this. This
Or
is coming
Mirror.
out by March of 2025. This is the one that's set in like the feudal Japan. So this one has very high hopes. Just don't fuck it up. Please. Please don't fuck it up.
I know, but look who we're asking. It's
I know. But Mirage was good. Valhalla
Yeah.
wasn't bad. Was still a good game. I enjoyed it. It's just it's a different experience for Assassin's Creed now than what it used to be.
Mhm.
So we'll see how it goes. But
I'm
Scott,
not
if you want to,
spiking my controllers off the floor.
yeah. So Scott, if you want to round out our gaming news segment of the night here, I decided to give you this one because I know you're big into college sports.
I love it.
and
Oh my
I'm
god.
excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
If there's one thing that I am synonymous for, it's college football, baby. But EA Sports College Football 25, the official teaser has been dropped ahead of the May reveal, and it is confirmed to have a summer 2024 release. So if anybody likes that, yes, there you go. If it does have a mascot mode, Marshmallow, I will play this game.
Yeah, this is awesome to see, man, because I have a shit ton of memories playing college football, and even going back as far as like the last one that was released was 2013, I think it was. I was playing it at Shippensburg when I was going to school there, and like I used to have my dorm room open all the time, and people walk by like, "Oh, yo, you playing college football? Yeah, come on and come in and get your ass beat." Like it was just like that. Like, put your money on the table, drink a beer, let's have some fun, get your ass beat. And
Free hands Friday.
Like that's what it was every day, Monday through Friday. It wasn't even Friday. It was Monday through Friday. Catch these hands in college football. So
No wonder this man dropped out of
yeah,
college.
it was bad. Like I couldn't
I was
do
like, you know, if you would have just said Fridays, okay, but then you were like, yeah, Monday through Friday. I'm like, yeah, that's all right. Have that.
Yeah, it was bad. I couldn't focus when I was at college. It was too much fun. Whether it was partying, playing this, playing basketball, doing everything except
Oh.
school. Yeah,
Felt.
a lot of times. But what's awesome to see though this time around is like within the college football stuff is like a lot of the players are going to be able to use their likeness in the game now because they're going to be getting paid. So it's because you remember back then, like you were playing as like Penn State or Texas or whoever, and you're like, you don't even have none of the players that are actually on the team. You're just hoping that they're kind of like them. They play kind of like them. It was just weird. Where now it's like legitimate. But yeah, I definitely agree. Hopefully they do some fun things with like the mascots and whatnot because that's always a good time. Looking forward to that one, guys. Roger, I know you don't play much sports games. You're over here like, man, fuck this game.
Sports ball.
Yeah, sports ball.
Welcome back to sports ball.
Yeah. All right, guys, that is our full episode, man. I can't believe we were able to finish here around the 8:30 mark. We do want to shout out everyone who did come through and check us out live today here on Twitch, and anyone who does check us out later on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. But also be sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, where I got a lot of engaging content coming out, whether it's the emoji challenge, we got to guess the game, the silhouette challenge, we got to guess the character based off of the silhouette, and a bunch of other ones like we have Thursday, our Throwdown Thursdays, where I put two characters against each other and you have to vote. So make sure you come through and engage on that. But we do want to shout out everyone who's already been participating, like Marshmallow. But Roger, where can the community find you at?
I've only been on Discord, man. It's just where it's happening lately.
And you, Scott?
Basically the same. That's what I'm doing. I got a lot of IRL stuff going on and getting ready to go on. You guys will be part of that as well. So if you do want to see what's happening inside my actual life, you can find me on Instagram at Scoby1. Other than that, I'll be here on the Discord.
And of course, everyone, you can check me out at Twitter at MrNeverChillin_, where I also do have some more engaging content over there as well. Due to my shoot to win content, which I have recently moved all of my playthroughs to my personal YouTube. So make sure you give me a subscribe over there, where all of my playthrough, I'm going to be doing some video game reviews over on that channel as well, and maybe some other content that I'm trying to figure out and flesh out as well. So I'm on there. I do post on Threads along with gaming on Xbox at xneverspacechillin, Facebook Vic Brubacher for any questions, concerns, if you want to come on the show. And I do stream over my Twitch at twitch.tv/MrNeverChillin, where I was playing Prince of Persia. Not right now. Maybe at the end of maybe next week I'll finish it. But I'm going to be picking up A Short Hike, Thirsty Suitors, and I might give Call of Duty Vanguard a try as well. So make sure you come through and check out my streams there. But we do want to thank everyone again. And until next week, peace.
Press Start Podcast.